After 1 week, 80% of players quit. After 2 weeks, 92% of players quit. 1 month, 99% of players were gone. 8 months later, 99.99% of players have abandoned Minecraft Legends. Minecraft Legends was an exciting new addition to the Minecraft landscape. A visually beautiful game developed over 5 years, promising to involve action, adventure, and strategy in an almost open world-like environment that looked and felt like Minecraft. It was something fans of the game were extremely excited for, selling over 3 million copies in its first few weeks. However, now just 8 months later after the game's release, Minecraft Legends has lost basically all of its players, regularly seeing as low as just 7 people playing the game at a time. And with the many negative reviews, communities outraged and quitting, and the game potentially being shut down next month, what the hell went wrong with Minecraft Legends? I think the easiest way to show you why the game lost so many of its players so quickly is to show you what I, a new player to the game who hadn't really heard much about it before, thought about the game when I first began playing it. I want to make it clear to you how the average player felt when they first played the game. My immediate first impressions were that the graphics and visual style were really cool. The animated cutscenes were gorgeous, whilst the game still looked very Minecraft-like despite its selection of differing blocks and features. The tutorial was easy to understand, and the mechanics seemed fun and straightforward at first, especially the resource collection. As I entered the world and began my first real fight, whereby I had to defend a village, I was genuinely enjoying the game, commanding my small army and leading them into battle. I actually found it really fun to run into the small packs of piglins and whack them with my sword, watching them all fly back. So far so good, I thought. The next thing I did was go clear a piglin outpost, which was decently fun. I got access to a new golem as well. Another outpost down, still pretty enjoyable, and now I was assuming the bulk of the tutorial was complete and I would begin to experience new game mechanics and what Legends truly had to offer. And I was in luck, because the next part, whereby basically a massive war occurred and I sieged a large piglin outpost with hostile mobs firing and fighting all around me, was extremely entertaining. This was by far the peak of my experience playing the game and made me excited for what was to come. But unfortunately, this is where the cracks began to show. Off of the high from the big battle I'd just successfully commanded, a bunch of piglin outposts appeared on my map. I proceeded to go to one and basically just straight lined right to the portal, the objective you have to destroy, and well, destroyed it. It really wasn't that interesting. All I did was command my golems to attack the portal, then used the one and only attack I had, a simple sword swipe, to fend off a few mobs for about a minute. Alright, maybe that was just one of the more boring outposts. Let's fail to defend this village because I arrived late and head to another outpost with slightly different piglins this time. And let's see, what do we do here? Oh, go straight to the portal and destroy it again, while standing around and occasionally attacking? Alright, how about a harder outpost? What do we have to do here? Surely it's not just, oh, this time we have to destroy some towers before we can destroy the portal. Man, I don't want to do this again. And that right there was the moment I simply could not be asked playing this game anymore. It had officially lost me. The combat just simply wasn't that enjoyable and got really repetitive really fast. I didn't particularly like the long distance mob control thing they had going called banner mode, because I didn't just want to sit around watching from afar. I wanted to be in the action myself. But even when I would lead my troops to battle, besides my one left click attack, I didn't really get to do anything. It was boring, plain and simple. Now obviously there are other game mechanics you get introduced to, but remember, I'm explaining this to you from the perspective of a player who's just bought the game. The game hasn't told me this yet or let me experience it, and it's lost my attention already. I'm not going to stick around, sorry. And I would like to point out that I'm not one who loses attention to new games quickly. I've played a variety of different games of varying difficulties and genres for dozens, if not hundreds or even thousands of hours. I'm not the type of person who only plays a handful of games of the same genre. And trust me, I'm far from the only one who the game failed to string along either. It seems to be more common than not. Minecraft Legends' core gameplay mechanics and combat loop simply are uninteresting. In 1 week, the game had lost 80% of its players. 2 weeks in, it had lost 92%. 3 weeks in, 96%. 1 month, almost 99%. And now, 8 months later, it sometimes dips down into the single digits of players online. A loss of 99.99% with even my Minecraft server, OG-Network Minecraft.net getting more players every day. This is just Steam. The game is also available on consoles, the Xbox Store, and in the Minecraft launcher. But it's likely that player numbers on those platforms have seen a similar huge decline as well. Google Trends also seems to indicate this. So, how did the game catastrophically decline so quickly? What went wrong? Well, you've heard why me, an average new player, didn't particularly enjoy the game. But I'm not one of the few players who actually stuck around months later or that had contact with developers, nor did I experience all of the game's mechanics and the community, and that's why I've got in contact with a player named Mick Lee. For those of you who don't know, Mick Lee is a Minecraft OG. He was the one who came up with the idea of the zombie pigmen years ago now, even receiving a special cape from Notch for it, which was later removed. He is now very much invested in the Minecraft Legends modding community, has created mods for the game, as well as had contact with developers of Legends and more, and he's given me a lot of information, not really publicly known, about what really went wrong with the game. Let's begin. Let's first talk about the campaign. Mick Lee shares similar opinions on the campaign to mine. The game looks beautiful and fun at first, but very quickly becomes repetitive and boring. The game only continues to become more of a repetitive slog the further you get in as well. Nothing in the gameplay actually really changes. You do the same tasks of protect villagers and destroy the piglins' bases. And there's not even really any downsides to failing to protect the villagers either. Nothing bad ever happens, there doesn't seem to be any tension, risk, or urgency. The core gameplay loop is boring, that's it. There's no replayability to the campaign or really any of the gameplay mechanics at all. You see, once you actually beat the game, which takes roughly 8 to 16 hours depending on difficulty, there is virtually nothing left to do. This isn't Minecraft where the game only truly begins when you beat the Ender Dragon after playing for a few hours. The game quite literally ends here. Your world becomes pointless, there's no additional piglin bases of varying difficulties and challenges to beat, and there's no additional unique mechanics you unlock. Supposedly there was actually a lot of cut content though, including village cultures, mount attacks, and even additional bases and points of interest like a giant nest, which was found by players who looked into the game's code. There's even a nice long wiki page about unused Minecraft Legends features. None of this is in the game or publicly announced, and as such, currently Minecraft Legends endgame consists of the equivalent of beating the Ender Dragon in Minecraft, and then that's it, the game's over. There is also a PvP mode, but currently it's very basic and unstructured. I hopped in and from what I gather, you're in a small world where you and your team of 4 have to defend your own base as well as destroy your enemy's base. It doesn't seem too bad, but also seems pretty directionless. There's no ranking system, skill-based matchmaking, or MMR. Unless you really like the combat gameplay mechanics, there's no incentive to keep playing. It doesn't keep you hooked and seems more like they just enabled PvP in a world, plopped the players in them, and that was it. The gameplay wasn't even the biggest issue though. No, far from it. The biggest issue is that 3/4 of you guys are currently not subscribed to my channel. We need to lower that number. No pressure. Anyways, while Minecraft Legends gameplay wasn't the best, players still found enjoyment in the game and its beautiful environment. But, as Mick Lee told me, Mojang's communication with the Legends community and active players has been utterly terrible. Upon the game's release, Mojang reported it had topped 3 million players in just 2 weeks, a huge success for any game no doubt. And they had everything going for them, a game backed by Minecraft, the biggest game in the world, funded by Mojang and thus Microsoft, one of the hugest companies in the world. They had everything at their disposal to make this game a huge success. Yet, while the community organized tournaments, set up active Discord servers to play and discuss the game, and basically did what they do and still do with Minecraft to this day, the game slowly began declining, with Mojang not saying a word. The core problems with the game, that being the campaign, the boring and repetitive combat gameplay loop, the inattention to PvP, and the severe lack of endgame content were left unfixed, and that made players rapidly lose interest and quit. The game has received very few updates since its release almost 8 months ago now. The earlier gameplay where players had to defend more villages was shortened as it dragged on a bit, and they did add some new units and mounts to the game. Most notably, custom game settings were added, allowing players to change up the campaign, having a bigger world size, changing gravity and game mechanics, as well as changing the density of resources and more. But this type of content didn't fix the glaring issues with the game, leading players to rapidly lose interest and quit. Its boring combat loop. Mojang's communication only declined over time as well. Most of the remaining Legends community waited in eager anticipation of Minecraft Live, which occurred back in October, a great chance for the game to receive more exposure again. Yet, Mojang only showcased Legends for about 3 minutes, barely anything at all, crushing the community's morale. Most of the once active Legends community were completely and utterly inactive by this point, all of which had lost interest in the game, and Mojang did nothing to hype them up or even attempt to bring them back. There was no public roadmap of future content and updates. Communities felt entirely left in the dark, and as if the silence from Mojang surrounding the huge decline of Legends was a sign that they had mostly given up on it. You see, ironically, most of the information and communication from the game's developers didn't actually come from Mojang. Mojang did not make this game solely by themselves. Another game development studio named Blackbird Interactive, who were also involved in Minecraft Earth, played a key role in Legends development. Mojang are meant to be the ones handling game communication and community engagement though. They have the huge platform and resources. Yet, as Buckley told me, the developers from Blackbird Interactive have done a far better job talking to the community, hosting regular AMAs with players in community discords, as well as displaying a strong passion and care for the game. In fact, here you can see a Blackbird Interactive dev talk about the content that was cut, that would have really added variety to the endgame and made it that much more interesting. This type of communication should have come from Mojang and should have addressed the wider community. It's their job to establish this line of communication. Another great example of Mojang's neglect was a special ASUS sponsored stream that occurred only a bit over a week ago now, where two Minecraft Legends developers finally talked more about the game for over an hour. Yet the community wasn't informed of this event taking place at all. Not even a tweet from the main Legends account or anything. Nobody knew about this event until after it had happened. With such poor communication, lack of engagement with the community, and a perceived silence to the many core issues Legends continue to face, many of the game's remaining active and dedicated players who continued playing the game despite its flaws simply gave up on it, believing it to be dead, feeling like Mojang were acting as if Minecraft Legends just didn't exist. Not even basic community PvP events are run, and there is now a big distrust between the Mojang Legends developers and the remaining Legends community. Even as much as simply publicly addressing that the game isn't in a great state right now would go miles for the community's morale, but yet they are met with silence. And it's such a shame because, as Buckley told me, Minecraft Legends has a very active modding community and the game was clearly designed with modding in mind. Buckley is very involved in the Minecraft Legends modding Discord, which will be linked below if you want to check it out, where mods such as Minecraft skin packs and models are shared, as well as mods that can completely change gameplay, such as this Herobrine dungeon Buckley is currently working on with custom models. There is a lot you can do with modding. Players can virtually create their entire own game modes, known as Myths or Lost Legends, which could be sold in the future on the marketplace. That's right, Legends has a similar marketplace to Minecraft Bedrock Edition, or players can download them themselves. I mention in the future though, because as it currently stands, the marketplace has a suite of tools for creators that the community can't actually access yet, with the only individuals able to technically upload and sell content on the marketplace being a company called House of How, who were contracted by Mojang and aren't involved in the community whatsoever. So it seems like Mojang intended for the marketplace, modding and creator tools to be readily available for the community to eventually use, but now the community has been effectively told that there aren't really any plans to release these tools to them or to help promote the game by bringing in other creators at all. Community content support would have been huge in making the game more alive. Just look at the huge modding scene Minecraft Java has, but has basically been ignored by Mojang once again. So, the community has taken it upon themselves to do that instead. Currently, there are projects and developments such as a mod manager and loader, as well as a website for the modding community, whereby they can share their mods and access modding related resources and documentation to help other people begin modding, and much more. The Minecraft Legends modding community is basically doing Mojang's job here, after being repeatedly left in the dark, ignored, and abandoned. I strongly advise you to check out the Legends modding community and Discord if you have any interest at all left in Minecraft Legends. Now, that's good and all, but there's still one very big issue that remains. Minecraft Legends might already be dead. In July of this year, Buckley and other members of the community were told privately by a Legends developer that the game had roughly 6 months left of support planned. Now, that could have changed since, depending on how Legends engagement and player activity went, but has clearly only continued to get worse. If those internal plans remain true, that would mean January next year, which as of this video is only a bit over a week away, could potentially be where Minecraft Legends meets its end. The free Lost Legend, which is basically a monthly free DLC meant to release this month, was delayed until January with no word of future updates. And with the knowledge about the game's potential closure, the remaining Legends community is now left extremely worried that Mojang is about to axe Legends right in front of their very eyes. There is some hope still though. As I mentioned, the Blackbird Interactive devs are still active within the community and seem to be engaged with the game. There was still a lot of interest in the game when it first released. 3 million players who bought the game, likely many more now, is no small number. And it is of course backed by Microsoft with the Minecraft name. Only time will tell though, and as it remains today, the game often sees as low as 7 players online on Steam. Likely not many more across all other platforms, seemingly set to shut down soon. I hope you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, thank you all so much for watching.